let us get started. So good evening and welcome you all to this session on this Lean Six Sigma White Belt. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you for joining this session. And I sincerely hope that you will have a wonderful learning experience. So I will just give a brief introduction about myself and then we can get started. My name is Annamlai. I am basically a BTech engineer from IIT Varanasi in Banaras Hindu University, India. And I completed my graduation in BTech in 1985. And for 30 years, I was in employment in Siemens and the Mrugappa Group in the electronic component manufacturing industry. And I was also working for 10 years in IT service company in both in production and quality functions. And for the last 10 years, I am running a company on my own. Our company's name is ICEQBS. And we just offer the services on the customized content development, training, and implementation support for lean management, Lean Six Sigma, and the PMP, project management professionals. And we offer the monthly training batches for Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt, and Black Belt. And we are accredited by the Council for Six Sigma Certification, CSSC, who are the #1 for the Six Sigma accreditation. And we are also the authorized training partner for the PMI for the PMP certification exam. And our major customers include the Amazon. I was working with Amazon Chennai for almost 5 years to build up an infrastructure for the Lean Six Sigma management, project management. And I also worked with some of the major multinational companies like the Asian Paints, then ACLR, ESAP, Lennox India Private Limited, and Standard Chartered Bank, Pfizer Healthcare, L&T Wars, Tata Telecommunication, Mahindra Finance, and so on. So that is a very brief introduction about myself. And let us get started with this White Belt program. So I'll just quickly complete it, and then depending upon, I will just randomly pick up one of you, and I'll just explain how a problem can be solved within the Six Sigma methodology. So once I know the problem from you. Okay, so let us start with a definition of what is a problem. So a problem is an obstacle which makes it difficult to achieve a desired goal, objective, or purpose. So in our professional and personal life, we are always having some aim or some goals, and we are working towards achieving those goals. But there are some obstacles or hindrances which affect us, prevent us from achieving those goals or targets. Then we say there is a problem. And whenever we have a problem, then whenever we want to solve the problem, there are multiple solutions for solving the problem. So we just try to find out what are all the possible solutions, and we tend to select the best solution, and then we just implement the solution. So that's what normally we do in case of problem solving. But many times what happens is we have a problem, then we think that we have analyzed the correct root causes for the problem, and we just implement the solutions. But after some time, again, the same problem will come and trouble us. So that means we have not identified the root causes correctly, and that is the reason the problem is occurring. So now we are going to learn about some of the methodologies which will help you to the problem solving and depending upon the complexity of the problem. So this we call it as a problem solving tree. So depending upon the complexity of the problem, how we are going to solve the problems. So you can see here that there are, for solving the low complexity problems, then we can use these two concepts, just to do it or quick wins. So for just to do it, for example, there are some problems for which you don't need to do any rocket science analysis or any deep thinking for the solution. So the root causes for the problems and the solutions are also quite obvious. So only thing is you need to really apply your mind, note down all the problems, whatever you are having, and then immediately do a brainstorming session with your colleagues, find the solutions, implement the solution. So we call it just to do it. So in order to explain this in a better manner, I ask you to imagine that you are entering an orchard having a lot of fruit-bearing trees. And whenever you are, and your aim is to taste the sweetest fruits in the orchard. So when you are entering the orchard, you will find that already there are a lot of fruits which have fallen down. Only thing is you need to bend down and pick up those fruits and eat it. So similarly, there are some problems which are quite obvious and the solutions are also obvious. Only thing is you need to apply your mind and solve those problems. Say, for example, you walk from in your floor, working area, work floor, from the raw material storage up to the finished goods storage. At some place you find that water is leaking. Some place you find that the material is leaking. At some place you find that the machine is under breakdown. Some place you are finding that people are doing some rework. So you try to analyze what are the reasons for you note down those problems, and then you just take some simple brainstorming session, and then you will be able to list down all the actions, implement the actions, then you will be able to get some benefit. So that's what we call as a Gemba walk. So Gemba means it is a workplace as per the Japanese word. So you walk to the floor with a notebook, with a mindset of identifying and solving the problem. List down what are all the problems. Just list down the solutions, implement the solutions. You will get a lot of benefit. And the second set of problems is quick wins. We also call it low hanging fruits. So whenever you are there in the orchard, you will find that there are some mango fruits are there, some fruits are there, which are the low hanging branches. Only thing is you need to stretch your bit yourself, then you'll be able to pluck those fruits and eat it. So similarly, there are some problems which you can find in your workplace, which you just take some small efforts by using some simple problem-solving tools, whether fishbone diagram or a Pareto chart or a scatter plot. You will be, and then YY analysis. Then you will be able to identify and solve those problems. So we call this a quick wins or the low-hanging fruits. So these two methods are used for solving low complexity problems. And in order to solve the medium complexity problems, we can use the Lean and AD report. Lean is a methodology for identifying and eliminating waste in the process. We are going to learn about that in detail shortly from now. And AD is an approach mainly used for solving the repeated problems. For example, if you are in an automotive industry, so you find that many times the customers are repeating the same problems that I have to wait for a long time for taking delivery of the vehicle, or the same problem is whatever the problem I have told to repair. Again, the same problem is repeating again and again. So for solving those type of repeated problems, you can use the AD analysis. And the Six Sigma methodology is used for solving the complex problems. So there are again different approaches are there depending upon what types of problem we want to solve. So for solving the complex problems, we can use the Six Sigma methodology. So that's what we call as a problem solving tree. And we will now, at a very high level, we will learn what is Six Sigma. So again, I'll just start with a small story from Diego Maradona during his early playing days. So one day, his coach called all his players, and he wanted to test how each player has observed the trick of scoring the penalty. So he just he just called all of them to the play field. And first he called the senior most player and asked him to take a penalty kick. And the target given to them was they should be able to hit the goal in the first attempt itself. So when the first player started taking the aim, again the coach asked him, "What are you seeing?" Then the player told that he seen the goal post. And again the coach asked him, like, "What else are you seeing?" Then again the player wanted to impress the coach. Then he started telling that I am seeing the stands behind, I am seeing the road behind, and so on. So he was again the coach checked whether this ball water was having was made of good quality material, whether his shoes and socks were made of good quality material. So he was not satisfied with the inputs and the process conditions of the player, and he asked him to quit even without attempting. So like that, one by one, all the other players came, and when they started taking the aim, the coach was asking the same questions, and the players were giving the similar answers, and he asked them to quit even without making the attempt. So last came Diego Maradona, and he was the favorite, most favorite of the coach. And when he started taking the aim, again the coach asked him, what are you seeing? Then he told that I'm seeing the goalkeeper. Again, the coach asked him, what else are you seeing? Then he told that I'm seeing the eyes of the goalkeeper. Again, he asked him, what else are you seeing? Then Maradona told that I'm seeing the legs of the goalkeeper. So again, the coach asked him, like, check whether the ball he was having was made of good quality material, whether his shoes and socks were made of good quality material, and whether he was taking care of the breeze that was passing at that point of time. And once he was satisfied that Maradona's inputs were right and his process conditions were right, then he gave the approval for Maradona to shoot the the ball. He took aim and then shot the ball, and it went and bang hit the corner of the goal. So even though the story is related only to football, but the concept what we are discussing here is applicable for any type of industry. The concept which is called as the process approach, which is one of the basic principle of Six Sigma. So before going into learning what is process approach, let us try to understand what is a process. So process is a set of activities done to convert the inputs into outputs. For example, we take the case of a digestion process. So in the digestion process, the food, whatever we are having, is the input. The food is processed through the various organs like the mouth, teeth, food pipe, small intestine, large intestine, stomach, kidney, and so on, under the various process conditions. And finally, we get the output, that is energy and excreta. The food, the input food is converted into the energy, which is the output. So maybe one day you had some problem of stomach indigestion. So you went to the doctor and then asked him, told him that you have the problem of stomach indigestion. So immediately the doctor will start asking the questions like, do you have this problem quite often? When did you have this last? What did you have earlier? Then you may remember and tell that 2 days ago you had some pizzas in an outside restaurant, and only after that this problem has come. Then the doctor will analyze that the problem is because of the pizzas, outside pizzas you had, and he will give the medicine accordingly, and your problem of indigestion is going to be solved. So that means in order to solve the problems in the outputs, don't bother too much about the outputs. Try to analyze what are the problems in the inputs and process condition, then the output will be consistent. So this is what we call as the process approach, and which is the basic principle of Six Sigma. So this is what again the coach also tried to test with Maradona. When with all the other players, he was fine that either their inputs were not right or their process conditions were not right. With Maradona, he found that his inputs were right and process conditions were right, and he was 200% confident that he will hit the target. So similarly, in our processes, many times we have problem in getting the required outputs. So we are now given a lot of tough target by our management, and we are just running behind those targets. But again, we are facing a lot of problems. But whenever we have the problem, we just, whatever the data we have, we just analyze some root causes and then take some immediate action. And then we feel that the problem has been solved. But again, after 3 or 4 weeks, again, the same problem will come and trouble us because we have not analyzed the root causes for the problem and you have not taken the permanent corrective action. So the process approach says, I will just add it for you, control the inputs, control the process conditions, output will be consistent. So this is what we call as a process approach, which is one of the basic principle of Six Sigma. And the other basic principle of Six Sigma is about variability. So variability in any process is inevitable. So whether we are, whether it is a natural process or a manufacturing process or a IT service process, always variability is there. It's inevitable. So for example, whenever we see the height of the human adults, again, it is varying from maybe 145 centimeters to 200 centimeters. We note down the weight of the human beings, male adults. Again, it is varying from maybe 45 kgs to 120 kgs. Always there will be some variability is inevitable in any process. So this variation in the input is caused by the variations in the inputs and process condition. So as we have seen just now, the outputs are influenced by the inputs and process condition. So whenever we are seeing that variation in the output, that means there are variations in the inputs and the process condition. Sometimes what happens is the variability in the process is becoming too much, that our process is starting to produce defects not meeting the customer requirement. So the Six Sigma helps you to reduce the defect by reducing the variations in the output, by reducing the variations in the inputs and process condition. So again, I will write it to you for you. So Six Sigma will help you to reduce the defects. So how does it help in reducing the defects? By reducing the variation in the output. And how do you reduce the variation in output? By reducing the variations in the inputs and process condition. So for a process which is running at a Six Sigma level of process capability, the defect rate is going to be only 3.4 defects per million opportunity. We call it a DPMO. 3.4 defects per million opportunities. That means if you are producing 1 million components, whether it is automobile components or electronic components, out of this 1 million component, only 3 components are going to be defective. So such low is the defect level, so that many of the companies, they want to go after Six Sigma methodology because huge cost savings will be there. And this is a typical graph you'll get whenever you do a Six Sigma project. So assume that this project was done in a process industry to reduce the scrap. So before doing the Six Sigma project, the average scrap was around 21%, but the variation was between 15 to 25%. So the variation was also quite high, and the average scrap was also quite high. But after taking that as a Six Sigma project and then identifying the critical root causes for the problem and taking action, we can see that there is a drastic reduction in the average scrap from 21% to 8%. And we can see that the variability has also gone down drastically. So this is what will happen whenever you do a Six Sigma project. We will find that after the project is completed, there will be a tremendous improvement in the metric, whatever you wanted to improve, and the variability in the process also would have been reduced to a great extent. So this methodology was first implemented in Motorola. So this, what is Six Sigma? It is a data-driven structured statistical methodology to achieve the DPMO of 3.4. It's a data-driven approach. So whenever you do a Six Sigma project, you'll have to collect a lot of accurate data from the process. And this accurate data, you'll have to analyze with the help of the statistical tool to find out the critical root causes and take action to remove those root causes so that your defect rate is going to be reduced. And it was first implemented in Motorola in the year 1987 and followed by the Allied Signals and the General Dickel's. And initially, it was implemented only in manufacturing, but starting from the year 2000, now it is implemented across the different verticals, even in oil and gas, construction, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, and all those any type of vertical, software development, IT service companies, and so on. So you can consider that Six Sigma is a toolkit box for solving process problems. So like how an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter is having a tools box, and whenever he is having some problem, he will just take the tools for analyzing the problem, and again from the same tools box, he will take some other tools for solving the problem. So similarly, whenever you are exposed to the Six Sigma methodology, you are going to expose to a lot of tools and techniques, right? So you are going to be exposed to a lot of quality tools like the fishbone diagram, fiber analysis, pattern chart, and so on. You are going to be exposed to a lot of statistical tools like the process capability analysis, hypothesis testing, and so on, and the quality tools and the creative problem solving tools. So that whenever there is a problem, you can just apply the appropriate tools for analyzing and solving the problem. So there are two major driving forces for Six Sigma: customer satisfaction and the financial benefit. So any Six Sigma project will start with identifying what the customer is having in terms of our quality, delivery, or price. So whatever the problem the customer is having, and then we try to analyze what are the critical root causes for the problem so that we'll be able to take some improvement action. And since we said that it is a structured statistical methodology, then any Six Sigma project will follow a structured way of problem solving called as a DMAIC methodology, which is used for improving the existing process and existing product. So if a process is running for more than 1 year and we find that variability is the issue, those type of problems can be solved by using the Six Sigma methodology, DMAIC methodology. So D stands for define, M stands for measure, A stands for analyze, I stands for improve, and C stands for control. So define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So in the define phase, you just identify the customer who is having a problem with respect to your quality, price, or delivery. And then you just try to link it to listen to the voice of customer to understand what is the problem they are having. Link it to a critical to X factor, what is causing more pain to them. So it may be CTD, critical to delivery. It may be CTQ, critical to quality. It may be CTP, critical to price and all. Try to identify which is causing more pain to them, and then link it to a measurable metric. For example, if the customer is telling that he is facing some delivery issues, then the critical TX is the CTD, critical to delivery, and how you are measuring your delivery performance. You are measuring the delivery performance in terms of percentage on-time delivery. So once you have linked it to a measurable metric, then quantify the current status, fix the target you want to achieve, define the scope of the project, and appoint a project leader and project team, and then write the business case to note down what are the benefits you are going to get by doing the project, and document all those things in a document which is called as a project charter. So this project charter is the major deliverable in the define phase. And in the measure phase, just start collecting the accurate data from the process to find out what are all the possible root causes that can contribute to the problem. And then in the analyze phase, you analyze the data with the help of the statistical tools and finalize a list of 3 to 4 critical root causes which are contributing substantially for the problem. And in the improve phase, you just take action only on those 3 or 4 critical root causes. And in the control phase, you'll find that by closely monitoring and controlling 1 or 2 critical root causes, then you'll be able to. One second. And the control phase, you'll find that by closely monitoring and controlling 1 or 2 critical inputs or process conditions, then you'll be able to get a consistent output. So that is how a problem is solved within the Six Sigma methodology. And this is what is the problem solving strategy, what you follow when you solve a problem using Six Sigma. So during the measure phase, you just start with the brainstorming session and do a fishbone diagram. So that is a tool which is used for prioritizing for finding out all the potential root causes for the problem. So when you do a brainstorming session, you may be able to list down around 40 to 60 potential root causes for the problem, which can be categorized into what are the man-related problems, metal-related problems, machine-related problems, and so on. These 40 to 60 potential root causes, you just prioritize with the help of the quality tools and statistical tools, so that at the end of the analysis phase, you'll be able to identify some 3 or 4 critical root causes which are contributing substantially for the problem. In the improve phase, you take action only on those 3 or 4 critical root causes. And in the control phase, by closely monitoring and controlling 1 or 2 critical inputs or process conditions, you will be able to get a consistent output. That is how a problem is solved using the Six Sigma methodology. And again, I told you that Six Sigma is a structured methodology for problem solving. And there is the structured methodology. One way is following a structured methodology for problem solving. That is the DMAIC methodology. And another structure is coming because of the organization structure. So you know that how the organization structure is very important for us whenever we have some problems. So for example, whenever you have a problem in any machines, then you know that you should go to the maintenance engineer. If there is a problem in getting the salary, then you know that you should go to the finance executive. So similarly, whenever you have any problem in the Six Sigma project implementation, then there will be a parallel organization structure in place in the organizations where they want to implement Six Sigma, so that the project leader or the project team will know to whom they should go, so that the problem can be resolved. So again, the roles and responsibilities start with the senior management, which we call as the executive leadership. So that is the topmost person in the organization. So he has to again have a very strong leadership skills. So he has to give the overall direction for the Six Sigma initiatives in the organization. He has to ensure that a positive culture is being created for the problem solving using the database. And he should also arrange for training at all levels of the organization. And then comes the role of the champion. So champion is normally a person from the senior management. So he actually is responsible for selecting the project leader and project team, and providing the administrative support for the project. So when you say administrative support, so he has to provide the resources in terms of the manpower, material, and other infrastructure. And if the project team is coming across any obstacles, then he need to resolve those problems. And the master black belt is a person who is going to give the technical guidance for the project. So when I say technical guidance, it is not that for a civil engineering organization, for a construction organization, he is going to give the civil engineering related activities. It is not like that. So when I say it is the technical issues, that means what type of data needs to be collected from the process, and what statistical tools should be used for the data analysis, and how to interpret the data. So that is what, and then he will again mentor and monitor the green belt, the black belt project team, and then he will also be responsible for arranging for the review with the senior management. And black belts are normally the people from the middle management, managers or senior managers. So they can lead a project to solve some complex technical issues by using the complex statistical tools, or they can lead the projects needing some interdepartmental coordination. And green belts are from the lower management. Either they can lead a small independent project in their own department, or they can be a part of the black belt project team. And yellow belts are normally the project team members for the green belt or the black belt project team. And they help the project leaders during the measure phase to collect the accurate data, and again during the control phase to closely monitor and control the critical inputs of the process condition. And the white belts are normally for the people to just to get a basic understanding about awareness training about the Six Sigma. So that is about the roles and responsibilities in a Six Sigma organization. So typically for working professionals like you, again, the green belt or black belt will be most appropriate for you, which will improve your problem solving capability, so that you will be able to solve the problems, and you will be able to come up very fast in the career growth. Again, now we talk about the lean. What is lean? So lean is actually a methodology for identifying and eliminating waste in the process, and it was originally created by Toyota during the 1950s. So all of you are aware that the Second World War was fought from 1939 to 1945, and the war ended when United States of America, they dropped the atom bombs on two cities, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And after the World War was completed, Japan's economy was totally devastated, and they were working very hard to just come out of that problem. And the US government also sent a lot of experts to help the Japanese people to improve the quality and productivity. So people like quality gurus like Deming and Juran, those people regularly visited Japan, and the Toyota company and other Japanese companies were also trying to improve their quality. So main, the core idea of lean is to maximize the customer value while minimizing waste. So if I want to coin a slogan for lean, I will say that lean means more with less. That means more output with less input. So for example, assume that currently your selling price is $100 and your cost price is $90, then your profit is $10. But if you are going to implement lean, then you are going to give more features and functions to the customer. So he is willing to pay more so that the selling price is going to increase to 110. And since you are able to do it with the lesser resources, then the cost price is going to come down. So the cost price be equal to 80. So in that case, the profit is going to be 30. That means by implementing lean, you are going to get more revenue and a lesser cost so that your profitability is going to improve multiple times. And that is the reason why most of the companies, they want to implement lean in their organization. And again, you know that in the global trading is becoming more and more competitive. And unless and until you save cost, cut down the cost, it will not be it will not be possible for you to face the competition. And the lean will help you to face the competition by reducing the cost and improving the efficiency. So when we say that lean is a methodology for identifying and eliminating waste, so whenever we say waste, immediately what comes to our mind is the scrap, what we are doing in the process. But that is not the only waste according to lean. So there are 8 types of waste which is applicable for any type of industry, which we can remember by remembering the word downtime, where D stands for defects, O stands for overproduction, W stands for waiting, N stands for non-utilized talent, T stands for transportation, I stands for inventory, M stands for motion, and E stands for extra processing. So any rework or scrap, whatever we are doing in the process, we call it a defect. Overproduction, if you are going to produce items for which you don't have the firm orders from the customer and waiting to be delivered to the customer, we call it a overproduction. So we should not produce any items for which we do not have firm commitment from the customer. Waiting is a time when the materials are waiting for the next process to be done. So again, time is money, and that is going to be a waste. Non-utilized talent, where the capabilities of the people are not utilized fully. Transportation is mainly happening because of the layout issue. So zigzag movement of the material from one place to another place will result in the more and power and fuel to be used and more scrap and etc. So a lot of problems will come because of the transportation. Inventory is maybe at the raw material stage or at the work in progress stage or at the finished goods stage, where we have added value to the product in terms of the material, manpower, and the machine cost, but we are able to recover the money from the customer because it is lying with us as an inventory. So inventory is the biggest enemy as far as lean is concerned. And motion is anything wastage due to the physical movement, unnecessary movement. So if an operator has to bend a bit in order to load the machine, he has to stretch a bit in order to unload the machine product, and he has to walk some 50 meters to transfer to the finished goods area. So this bending, walking, and stretching will make him tired too soon, and then his efficiency could be reduced. But similarly, if you are not giving him the proper working tools or the proper working environment, like if the environment is going to have a lot of dust, a lot of noise, or a lot of heat, then his efficiency is going to be reduced, and we call this a wastage due to the motion. Extra processing is where we are doing some activities not needed by the customer. We are doing some activities more than what the customer is looking for. So we need to identify where these 8 types of waste is there in our organization, and we need to take some action to remove those wastage. And these are some of the most commonly used lean tools. Kaizen is actually used for small improvement. In many companies, they just implement that as a suggestion scheme. So any suggestion any employee is going to have, he can just fill up a simple format, and then it will be taken to the sent to the manager for the approval. And once he approves, then the employee will be given a chance to implement his idea, and the utility or the benefit of this effort will be monitored for a period of 6 months to 1 year, and maybe every month or every 3 months, the best participants or the best contributors for the Kaizen initiative will be recognized and rewarded. ICEQBS is mainly used in the control phase of a Six Sigma project. We mainly use for mistake proofing. So in POCA-UK, we are trying to put in some control mechanism in place so that even if someone wants to deliberately make a mistake also, the system will not allow him to make a mistake. For example, when you get into the car and you forget to secure the seatbelt, then after running for just 5-10 meters, there will be an alarm indicating that the seatbelt is not secured properly. Until unless you secure it properly, the car will not, the alarm is going to come. Similarly, if any door is not closed properly or the handbrake is not released, you will get the alarm. So this will ensure that you are not making any mistakes at all. 5S is actually a tool, lean tool, which is mainly used for improving the workplace discipline. And the 5S gets its name because of the 5 Japanese words. Seri means sorting. We'll have to sort what is required and what is not required. Not required item has to be removed from the workplace. Seitone is setting in order. Whatever the items you have kept it or as required, we will have to arrange in the systematic order so that we can reduce the searching time. Seizo is shining or cleaning. We will have to clean the machines or the workplace on a daily basis, and we will have to do the maintenance work regularly. Standardize means whatever the work we are doing, we will have to standardize so that anyone who is doing the same job will do it in the same way. And sustain is for sustaining the improvement, Seikatsu and Shizuke. So mainly for self-discipline and sustaining. So these 5S will help you to improve the workplace discipline. Kanban is actually a tool mainly used for visual management tool for inventory control, and just-in-time concept is a methodology followed by Toyota for reducing the inventory. So in the define phase, again, we have some tools for narrowing down the scope of the problems. So we can use the tool, which is called as the Pareto chart. We also call it as the 80-20 rule. So for example, we are doing a project to reduce the scrap and from maybe 20% to say 2%, then we'll find that out of the 10 possible defects, only 20%, that means hardly 4 defects are contributing to more than 80% of the problem. So if you are going to take action only on those 4 causes, then your problem is going to be solved. So that's where the Pareto chart will help you to narrow down the scope of the project, right? And one of the major deliverable from the define phase is the project charter. So in the project charter, we just define what is the problem we are trying to solve. Again, it is a very simple one sentence statement. Say, for example, currently the percentage on-time delivery is low at 80% based on the information for the last 6 months. And the goal statement may say that the objective of the project is to improve the percentage on-time delivery from 80% to 95%. And business case is the reason for doing the project. What are the benefits we are going to get by doing the project? So it may save around $50,000. So that is the business case. Timeline, when the project is going to start and end, and what are the starting and end date for each and every phase of the DMAIC methodology. Scope of the project is what product or what production location or which defect type you are going to focus. So the more and more the project is focused, the greater is the possibility of completing the project successfully in a reasonable amount of time. Then you have to give the information about the team members and who is the project leader, who is the master black belt, and the champion and all. And the project charter has to be signed by the project's leader, the champion, master black belt, and the finance representative who will validate the cost savings as declared by the project team. So again, this is a simple project charter, some example. So now I'll just give you a small case study of how a problem can be solved by using the Six Sigma methodology. So this happened in the year 2004. I was certified as a black belt in the year 2004, and this happened in the year 2005. So that was the first day when my daughter had gone to the school after the summer vacation. And when she came back, I found that she was feeling very sad. When I asked her the reason for her sadness, then she told that she was feeling bad because when all her other friends were explaining about their wonderful experience in an exotic location for the summer vacation, she was unable to say anything because she has not gone anywhere for the summer vacation. I felt even bad because I was the one who did not take her for the summer vacation because I did not have any money. Even though I was earning around $120,000 per annum for the last 5 years, I was not able to save a single penny. Then I thought why this problem cannot be solved by using the Six Sigma methodology. So again, we start with the define phase. We start with the customer, identifying the customer. Here, my customer is my daughter, and the voice of customer says that I am feeling bad because I was not able to explain about my experience in the summer vacation, and linking it to a critical to X factor. This is a CTC, critical to cost, and the metric identified for improvement is the saving. Because if I had enough savings, I would have taken my daughter for the outside location for the vacation. And the problem statement says that the savings from my salary is 0% against the target of 5% for the last 5 years. Goal statement is to increase the savings from 0% to 5% within 3 months. And the annual savings is likely to be around $6,000, and the timeline is around 3 months. So you can see that all the critical elements of the project charter are there in this particular slide. Then during the measure phase, I had the data on how this $120,000 per annum was spent. And here you can see that the rent, food, shopping, so these are contributing to the substantially for the problem. So you can see that out of this $120,000, so around 69% of the total cost was spent only on rent, food, and shopping. So on rent, I could not do much about it because there was one of the least rent area in that location. But about the food, we ourselves were surprised when we knew that we are spending around $30,000 for food alone. So we thought that there is a lot of scope for reducing the food cost. So by using the Pareto chart, we are able to narrow down the scope of the project only to the food expenses. And we wanted to reduce from $30,000 to $24,000. And once we decided that we will focus only on the food expenses, we had the data on how the monthly spend or the food expenses was there. So you can see here that the minimum food expenses was around $1,650, and the maximum was around $3,750. A lot of variation was there, and this is an ideal project that can be solved by using the Six Sigma methodology. And one interesting thing, what you can see is that the total food expenses per annum is $30,000. That means $2,500 per month. That is the average. And our target is $24,000. That means we want to reduce it to $2,000 per month. That is the target. And if you can see here, out of the 12 months, at least in 4 months, we have achieved the expenses very closer to the target value or slightly lower than the target values. So that means out of 33% of the time, we have already achieved the target what we are trying to achieve. But only thing is we are not knowing exactly what are the root causes which are contributing to the lower food expenses. So since we did not know about that, we didn't have a control over them. And since we do not have a control over them, then on some months it shot up to as high as 3,750 or 3,250, so that the overall food expenses was at 2,500. So by using the Six Sigma methodology, what we are trying to find, we are trying to find out what are the critical root causes contributing to the variability in the food expenses, and take action to control this variation so that whatever the best performance, whatever we have achieved, we will be able to get it consistently. That means we are not trying to bend the sky by using the Six Sigma methodology, but whatever the best we have achieved in the past, we would like to achieve it consistently. So that is what will be the main achievement. So during the analyze phase, we just did a fishbone diagram to find out what are all the possible causes for the higher food expenses. And then by using a tool, which is called as the XY diagram, XY matrix or the constant effect matrix, you are able to prioritize that the meat, restaurant, oil, ice creams, and chocolate. These are the 4 critical root causes contributing higher to the food expenses. So in a typical Six Sigma project, so these critical root causes will be validated by using the statistical tools. But since it is only a simple case study, I'm just prioritizing these as the critical root causes. Then in the improve phase, we take action only on those 3 or 4 critical root causes. So here, for the meat, we were previously consuming meat twice a week. Now we thought that we will take meat only once in a week. And we reduce the consumption of oil from 4 liters per day, month to 2 liters per month. We reduce the number of visits to outside restaurant from once in a week to once in 2 weeks. And we reduce the consumption of ice creams and chocolate. So all these 4 actions resulted in an annual cost saving of $6,000. Also, the health expenses reduced from 5,500 to 2,000. So what we practically found was that these 4 critical root causes, they were not only contributing to the higher food expenses, since they were not good for health, they were also contributing to the higher health expenses. And when we reduce these expenses on that, then automatically the health expenses also came down. So this is what will happen whenever you do a Six Sigma project. You take a project to improve the productivity. At the end of the project, you will find that the productivity has improved, your yield has improved, and your quality has improved. You take a project to improve the yield. At the end of the project, you will find that the yield has improved, your productivity has improved, and your quality has also improved. So multiple benefits you will get by doing a Six Sigma project. And during the control phase, again, we can see that now it is almost 20 years since I have done the project. So my annual saving has now increased to 10% of my salary for the last 5 years. And my expenses on the health and loan repayments have also come down drastically. Now every year, I enjoy the vacation with my family in an exotic location. And most important of all, I can see the happiness in my daughter's face during the summer vacation, for which I can never pay a monetary value. So that means whenever you do a Six Sigma project, then you will be able to get some multiple benefits. So that is at a very high level, just for creating the awareness about Six Sigma. So that is about the white belt training. So if you have any doubt or any questions you have, then you can just ask me. So about this methodology.
Thank you, sir. It was clear. Well
Okay.
said.
So typically what we do, maybe we normally we conduct a green belt and a black belt training program every month. And during this batch, we just ask the participants to just identify a problem in their area of work, so that this problem they will be able to solve using this methodology in the session itself, step by step, right? For example, maybe one of you, all of you are from which field? Maybe Anil, which field you are from?
I'm working as after sales manager in automotive in Nissan.
Okay. Okay, then I'll just try to identify a problem and let us see at a very high level how the problem can be solved using Six Sigma. So I'm just giving this prompt. So this is what we normally do in our green belt or the black belt session. So I'm a student is doing a white belt project in the after sales department, right? In is it automotive car or anything specific? Car after sales department in which part of automotive? Is only car or two wheelers or whatever it is?
Only cars. Yeah.
So can you identify 10 problems that can be solved?
Vehicle washing cleanliness, maybe one.
So high vehicle turnaround time, high first time right failures, long customer waiting, low service appointment adherence, high service billing errors, delay in spare parts availability, low customer satisfaction, high vehicle idle time, high technician productivity variation, low conversion. Okay, now what you are saying is the problem what you like to attend is, can you just tell a specific problem? Car washing not proper, huh? Improper car washing.
Or rightly, like what you said, maybe late delivery. Can
Late delivery.
identify one.
Okay. So late delivery. So can you identify 10 metrics that can be improved by solving the problem of late delivery, right? So on-time vehicle delivery rate, average vehicle turnaround time. So again, you can see that these metrics are different, right? So that means out of 100 times, how many times you are delivering on the committed time? And the second one is the average vehicle turnaround time. That means after how many hours you are actually making the delivery from check-in to delivery, right? Both are different, right? So which is actually your problem? That means whatever the committed time, you are giving delayed delivery, or you are taking more time for delivering making the delivery. You can understand the difference between these two, right? Anil?
He just messaged in chat box, sir.
Okay. Okay. So for example, now I think others are also, maybe I will just take the example of on-time vehicle delivery rate percentage, right? So now I'll just say that I want to improve the percentage on-time vehicle delivery from, so from currently say that we are at 80%, from 80% to 98%. So can you suggest how this problem can be solved as a white belt project using tools like Pareto chart, fishbone diagram? So this is a structured way of problem solving, Y-way analysis, 5-way analysis, and so on. So you can see here we are following structured methodology, the DMAIC methodology, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So the aim is to improve the percentage on-time delivery from 80% to 98%. In the define phase, you just define the problem, you quantify the problem. So currently the defect rate is at on-time delay is around 80%, and goal is to improve from 80% to 98%. So in the measure phase, we just collect the data, right? For each late delivery, we just capture what is the promised delivery time, what is the actual delivery time, and what is the reason for delay. So only one primary reason. Then again, we classify the delay reasons. Either it is because of the spare parts or extended repair time and so on. So these are all the possible causes because of which the vehicles are handed over delayed. So in the analysis phase, you just try to identify what is the most important root cause out of all these. So we can find that out of this, 32% of the time, the delivery is delayed because of the spare parts delay, 21% because of technical overload, etc. So that means for the 80% of the problem, that is mainly caused because of the top four causes: spare parts delay, technician overload, job card errors, and billing delay. Then by using the fishbone diagram, then the problem what you are trying to solve is the late vehicle delivery. And then what are the man-related causes, method-related problem, like that. You do the brainstorming session. And then you also do the 5-way analysis. So problem is spare parts delay causing the late delivery. Why late delivery? Not available on time. Why not available on time? Not planned during the job card creation. Why not planned? Advisor laid on inspection after the vehicle arrival. Why inspection delayed? Because the technical availability limited. Why limited? No advanced slot planning. So the root cause is lack of advanced parts planning during the appointment booking, right? So once you are able to find the root cause of the problem, then you will be able to focus only on the top four Pareto causes. So for the spare parts delay, technician overload, job cards errors, and billing error, right? So these are the improve phase. We are going to take the improvement action in this area. And in the control phase, then we are going to closely monitor and control. So we just put some daily delivery dashboard, red, amber, green. So updated SOP for appointment booking, job card preparation, delivery commitment, etc. So by doing the project, then we'll be able to, after the project is completed, then we'll be able to improve the percentage on time delivery from maybe 80 to 95%. Average turnaround time has been now also been reduced, and the customer complaints because of the delay, that also can be reduced, right? So like that again, now as a white belt, we have now used the very simple problem solving tools like the fishbone diagram or the 5Y analysis or the pattern chart. But if you're going to do a lean project or a lean Six Sigma project, then we'll be using some advanced tools for problem solving, and that will be really helpful for you to be one up when compared to your peers, right? So in that way, your competency can be built up, and you will be able to come up very fast in your career. So maybe I will send this also, and we will also get the recording of this session, and you will also get a white belt certificate, right? Okay. So any doubts or any questions, you can ask me now. So just can see that it's only an awareness session to just create some awareness and interest in the Six Sigma methodology. Yes, Philip? Yes, Philip, any questions? I think your voice is very feeble. We are unable to hear you.
I see the spare parts delay is the big impact to
Yeah.
get the vehicle delivery on time.
Yeah.
What is the best solutions to give this to
Delivery
make
parts.
on-time delivery of the vehicle?
Yeah. So
Like
for spare parts delay, they create the top 20 fast moving spares list, mandatory parts check during the appointment booking, and pre-pick kits for common services, right? So these are some of the actions suggested. But I think since you are more experienced, I think you will be able to create more solutions, and then you will be able to solve the problem. So what you are going to learn in this thing is how we can use these tools, right? So how we can use these tools for finding the root causes for the problem, and how you can take action in a systematic manner. So that's what you will learn as a part of the Six Sigma. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any questions? Okay then. Thanks for attending, and then we will send you the certificate and the recording to your mail ID, whatever you have used for registering for your this white belt program. Thank you. Bye.